Hi, I'm Liv from NeuroStitches. I talk about all things neurodiversity and fiber arts. So today I'm here to talk about a crochet stitch that I am absolutely obsessed with that works as the perfect border or edging stitch for both knit and crochet projects. So I'm going to go into all the reasons why I love the modified link single crochet stitch and show you some examples of finished projects where I've used this as a border. But first let me tell you how I found out about this stitch. I was doing a test for a crochet pattern called the Bliss Cowl by Sweet Crochet Dreams. And Mariana has a wonderful tutorial that I'll link below. It's very short but thorough, and it is the perfect stitch to use as a border and edging. So thank you to Mariana for introducing me to this stitch because it seriously goes on every single knit and crochet project that I finish. So first of all, the reason that I love this stitch is because it goes with every project and every fiber. So it works with merino, regular generic wool, cotton, manufactured fibers. It works with all of them. For example, this is a baby blanket that I made for my future son who's due in March. And this is made using, I think it's 96% cotton, 4% nylon. It's Juniper Moon Cumulus. But look at this. This is the linked single crochet stitch, and it works on a cotton fiber. And here it is on my Pooling Petals shawl. The pattern will be coming out later this year, but this is using merino wool and fingering. And here it is on my triple threat scarf that I also designed last year, but the pattern will be coming out this year. You can see it works perfectly with crochet and knit and Tunisian crochet. And speaking of Tunisian crochet, I just finished this. It's called the Hide Hood. It is a Tunisian crochet scarf, but it is inspired by the Sophie scarf. And the pattern called for a crochet I-cord edging, which is awesome and it looks great and stuff. But I just prefer the feel of the modified link single crochet. And so here it is. I still have to block this project, so it's not completely done. But all my ends are woven in and everything. And it's hard to tell with this yarn since it's marled. Here is my Bliss Cowl, the edging. And this is the pattern where I first learned about this awesome stitch. This project will always be special because it's what introduced me to the modified link single crochet. So let's go into why I am obsessed with the modified link single crochet and why I think it is the perfect stitch for the border or for your edging for both knit and crochet projects. First, the way it lays the yarn down makes the yarn incredibly smooth and soft, and so it feels really good, especially against your neck. It is a very soft edging. It's unlike I've not found any other stitch that feels that way up against your neck. So if you're like me and you've got sensory issues, it's a fantastic stitch for anything that goes around your neck. Or even like I like to put it on my sleeves, so then it just lays flat, and it's just, there is something about the way that it has the yarn lay that makes it so smooth no matter what yarn you're using. Like even the more rustic wools are, it's very smooth. Like with the Hide Hood that I've been working on, this is a non-superwash Corriedale Romney and Merino blend, and this is more of a rustic yarn than I would typically use, but it's still soft. Like it's not unusable for by my standards, but it is rustic. It is woolly, and the edging here allows the yarn, I don't know what it is about it, but it lays flat and smooth, and it just gives it this really soft edge. It's absolutely lovely. So along the lines of the yarn, the way that this stitch works, the way it lays the yarn down, it makes it very smooth and very soft, and along with that, it makes it very thin. It makes a great thin border. It's not too bulky. It's not raised. And here's what, I'm not sure if you can see this very well, but okay. It just creates a really nice thin border, and it lays so well against your skin. The next reason that I absolutely love this stitch is because it never bunches or flares your project. We've all been there where we've been working on a project and we want to put a border on it. And sometimes the stitch or the technique that we use happens to cause the project to flare out. And that drives me absolutely nuts. Like, there's nothing worse than that. If you're working on a blanket and then all of a sudden your edges become kind of like ruffly, it's very frustrating. And then on the flip side, we've also all been there where we are working on a border and it tightens your project up and causes it to like bunch. This stitch never does either of those things. And I think it's the unique construction of it being linked to the previous stitch. So it never bunches and it never flares. It just perfectly lays alongside your project. And this was a blocked project. So here's an example of a project that I haven't blocked yet. I just got done finishing this project. I've woven in my ends, but I have not blocked it yet. So you can see it does not bunch and it does not flare the edge. So even if you don't want to block your projects, you don't do that, this stitch still works whether you block your projects or not. And on that note, I like it because it gives it a clean finish with modern lines. You know, I love lace edging as much as the next person. There's a time and a place for that. However, with a lot of my wearables, I like clean finishes, clean lines, and especially from a sensory standpoint, I don't necessarily like the feeling of lace around my neck or, you know, on my wrists. So this feels great, and it just really gives it a modern finish and clean lines. And speaking of clean lines and modern finishes, I absolutely love this because it doesn't take away from the project. It complements it. Like this just gives it more definition and it like frames your project. So the focus is still on this lovely sunburst granny square. And that's what I just love about this stitch so much is it complements, it doesn't overwhelm your project. And then that way it's also perfect for any project that you do. So it will look good with a lacy shawl, but it will also look great with a blanket or a scarf. The other reason that I am totally obsessed with the modified link single crochet stitch is that it works for both knitting and crochet projects. It is just the perfect border, the perfect edging, and I really feel like it elevates every single project that I finish. So that is why I am completely obsessed with the modified link single crochet stitch. Now, what I would love is for you to go and try this stitch out, either like just on a sample that you're working on or one of your other projects that you've recently finished and needs a border, and let me know what you think. Is it the perfect border or edging for your projects? Are you as obsessed with it as I am? And make sure to go check out Sweet Crochet Dreams tutorial. I have it linked below, and learn a new stitch. It's just the perfect skill to have in your back pocket. For any project, this border stitch works. Make sure to like and subscribe if you like to talk all things neurodiversity and fiber arts.